Chile's stunning Lake District is a picturesque region in the heart of the country, filled with snow-capped volcanoes, turquoise blue lakes, and quaint towns and villages. It's a continuation of the beautiful Argentinian Lake District across the border, and is a very popular summer holiday destination for locals and foreigners alike. You would need months to see everything Chile's Lake District has to offer, so in this short video we'll be focusing on two of the most popular spots, the town of Pucon in the north of the region, and the city of Puerto Varas in the south.
If you're new here, we're Kitty and John, and we'd love to travel and experience new cultures. Whether we're taking it slow on a beach in Mexico or getting our adrenaline fix paragliding in Turkey, our passion for travel never seems to fade. We're currently exploring the beautiful continent of South America and have really fallen in love with the landscapes and the people. So if you'd like to see more content from this amazing part of the world, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Our journey through Chile's Lake District began in the town of Pucon, which sits on the shores of Lago Villarrica in the shadow of the towering Villarrica volcano. The town is built around tourism and has a gorgeous beach lined with luxury hotels, as well as a harbour where you can take boat tours out onto the lake. In the summer, whitewater rafting is very popular as are guided hikes up to the summit of Villarrica volcano, although be aware that this activity is very dependent on the weather conditions. We didn't do either of these popular tours, mostly for budget reasons, but we did hire a car for a couple of days so that we could explore the more easily accessible locations and hiking trails around Pucon. Our first stop was a short drive north of town at the Parque Nacional Huercuehue.
There are multiple different trails you can do within this national park. The most popular one is probably the Los Lagos trail, which is the one we're going to be doing today. Roughly 15 to 19 kilometer hike depending on where you start. We took the car to the further car park where you have to pay 3,000 pesos to park, but it does save you about 2 kilometers in each direction. On the way back that'll be pretty nice. Takes you around about 3 different lakes, I think. Gets you up higher so you get some nice viewpoints of the surrounding area and the volcano hopefully. Should be a good day of walking. The weather is nice again, so we should get some beautiful views. So I reached our first mirador along the hike. We've been climbing pretty steeply. We're about almost just under 1,000 meters now. We got this beautiful view out here, a little obscured, but a beautiful lake, and then you can just see the volcano here in the distance. Villarrica. Pucon is just down in the valley underneath that. Really beautiful. Mirador number 2. Come up about another 150 meters and same view, but just a little bit higher. The lake is so calm down there. Such a still day. So far it's been gradually uphill, a lot of switchbacks. Not like super steep. Still a little tricky. I'm going about an hour I think so far. This is like the hardest part of the hike. At the top it should flatten off as you come around the lakes. Just got to climb up to them first.
Eventually, we made it to our first lake, Lago Chico. The reflection on the lake in the early morning light was beautiful and reminded us of a similar hike we'd done recently in Rocky Mountain National Park in Colorado. The trail continued around the edge of Lago Chico, where we crossed a rather makeshift bridge and arrived at the south shore of Laguna Verde, which turned out to be a great spot for our picnic. After Laguna Verde, the trail splits. You can either follow the shorter route straight to Laguna Toro, or you can opt for the longer trail, which takes you higher up to 2 more small lagoons. We took the longer trail, and whilst it was a nice walk, the views never really opened up like we thought they would. After a while, we made it to Laguna Los Patos.
This is the Los Patos lagoon behind me. One of the 2 extra ones you can do on the extra loop. Not quite as pretty as Laguna Verde or Chico. It's up to you if you want to come up and do it. It's about 5 kilometers extra. There is one more lake as well that we're going to hit, so maybe that one will be a little bit prettier, but you know, it's nice to be up here. Not many people up here at all. Trees are really cool here, like spiny kind of palm tree type things with lots of moss on them. Very pretty. This is the other lake along the additional path, a little bit bigger than the last one.
I think the best part of coming this way was like hearing the woodpeckers. They do sound like Woody the Woodpecker. I never knew about the laugh, that's the kind of sound they make, and we've seen quite a few woodpeckers around here, but this is the first time we heard them literally sound like Woody the Woodpecker. Plus, there's really not that many people on this trail, just another couple apart from us, but that's it. So it's a quiet one to do too.
This whole area actually feels very prehistoric. Interestingly, in one of the national parks very close to here, it was the location for a lot of the filming for Walking in Dinosaurs, the BBC program, because it's one of the last places on Earth that has the same kind of vegetation as what would have been around at that time. We're not that far away from there, so I'm thinking like a lot of this vegetation probably very similar to what was around, you know, millions of years ago. So it does feel very prehistoric. Like I said, these trees are just so different. I'm gonna work out if they're like a version of a palm tree or a pine tree. One for Google later.
We then followed the path back down, where it eventually joined back up with Laguna Toro. We got some beautiful views of it as we descended, and then found another picnic spot by the shores of the lagoon to enjoy the views from before our long walk back to the car.
The following day, we visited a couple of smaller locations close to Pucon. Just off the road back to the national park, we stopped at Parque Ojos de Caburgua.
What you doing? What you doing? A very bold cat this morning.
I know, yes, another one too.
Yeah. Two little cats meeting us.
You see the cat is still
If you arrive between 9 and 10 on a Sunday morning, you'll probably be the only ones here, which is kind of cool. Because this place can get very busy and popular, I think. It's got many, many, many reviews on Google, so nice to be the only ones here. Reminds me of the cenotes a bit.
I was just about to say that, we were literally on the same page. I was like, if I didn't know, it looked like cenotes.
Back in Mexico.
After walking around the wooden walkways for a while and stopping to play with the resident cats on the way out, we drove east of Pucon to the Laguna El Leon hike, where we were greeted with yet more adorable animals. Oh, so cute. Oh, look at the other one. Oh. For a small charge, we could walk up the very short but very steep path to Mirador El Leon.
That was insanely steep, but you can see how much we've come up. So high up already. This went straight up, and this is a sheer cliff.
A little further on, the gorgeous view of Laguna El Leon opened up before us, which made the steep slog up more than worthwhile.
So just saying that we think this hike for 3,000 pesos a person is probably way better than the hike we did yesterday in the national park, which was about 10,000 pesos per person. I mean, for like 30 minutes hiking, very steep, but you get this incredible view. It'd be even better if the volcano was visible. That's just hiding behind the clouds right now. 100% recommend this hike if you're ever in Pucon. It's, you know, fairly short, not too hard, and the view, the payoff is just spectacular.
On our final day in Pucon, we drove the car about 2 hours south to the Huilo Huilo Nature Reserve. You can only enter a very small portion of the nature reserve at its northern point, but there is still plenty to see and do in this small area.
The way this reserva works is they have a lot of different portals scattered throughout the reserve. Each has its own entry fee, so they're all about 6,000 pesos per person to go in. So they have like an all-encompassing ticket where you get all the portals for 5 days for the price of basically 3 entries. So it's worth doing, even if you're just visiting 3 sites in one day. It's still worth getting the encompassing ticket because it will work out cheaper. We plan on visiting 3 today. First one we're at is the sort of the main one, the Huilo Huilo one, which has 3 routes around it. I think we're just going to be doing the one today, the main one that goes to the waterfall, just because we are a little pushed for time. The color of this water is insane. Look how blue, turquoisey blue, so pretty.
As we made our way along the river, we got some great views back up towards the waterfall. The whole area was so peaceful and the water was insanely pretty. We could easily have spent longer there had we not needed to get a move on to visit all the other sites in the nature reserve.
This is insanely steep. That's like at least 70 degrees.
Oh, lovely. Oh, wow. That is steep. The camera doesn't do it justice.
No.
The path continued to a viewpoint overlooking the Cascada Salto del Puma. We thought this waterfall was really beautiful, so when we found ourselves with a little extra time at the end of the day, we made a quick unscheduled stop at the Portal Salto del Puma, which takes you on a different route down to the base of the waterfall. Just down the road from the Portal Salto del Puma is the Portal Caverna Volcanica. Here we could do a short looping trail through a volcanic cave and on past a nice viewpoint to the Yayaca waterfall. If you're feeling adventurous or are just a bit crazy, you can walk basically underneath the waterfall for a spontaneous shower, or you can just admire it from a distance like we did.
The final portal we visited was Las Leona, which is located behind the Northofagos Hotel, home to the iconic Magic Mountain Lodge. However, we did feel like this lodge was a little more impressive on the pictures we'd seen of it than it was in real life. We then took a short path down through the forest to the Salto La Leona, which probably would have looked better had there been a stronger flow of water coming over it. Overall, we enjoyed our time in Pucon despite not being able to climb the volcano or go whitewater rafting. The landscapes are stunning and we honestly just loved spending each evening watching the sun go down over the lake and seeing Villarrica volcano bathed in the beautiful golden light. If you were to Google Chile's Lake District, it's highly likely that the first image you would see would be the iconic shot looking out over the lakeside town with a huge snow-capped volcano rising in the background. This town is Puerto Varas, located in the south of the region, which sits on the shores of Lake Lanquihue, across from the impressive Osorno volcano. Founded by German immigrants, the town holds to many of its German traditions and architectural styles and is a great base from which to explore the area around Lago Lanquihue. Before heading out of town though, make sure to have a wander around as there are some interesting sites in Puerto Varas itself. Down by the lakeshore, the Museo Pablo Fierro is probably the most interesting looking building in Puerto Varas, with sections of boats and cars sticking out of its facade. It's free to enter and the interior's cramped rooms and winding staircases are filled with an eclectic mix of antiques and memorabilia, so it's well worth taking the time to have a look around. The town's unique-looking church is also worth a quick stop, and if you continue up the hill from there, you will enter the park at Monte Calvario, where you can get some gorgeous views of the town and surrounding area. It's from somewhere along the road behind this park that you can get the iconic shot of the town with the volcano in the background. Make sure to end the day by getting a delicious ice cream from one of the many stores in town and heading down to the waterfront to watch the moon rise over the lake.
Puerto Varas is just one of several pretty towns around Lake Yanquihue. With our hire car in hand, we headed along the lake to the town of Frutia Bajo. This gorgeous little lakeside town is perhaps even more obvious in its Germanic influences, with the wooden buildings and German shop names feeling like they've been transported straight from Europe. There's a beautiful sandy beach lining the whole stretch of the town, with another gorgeous view of Osorno volcano as a backdrop. We're not really beachy people, but if we were going to spend some time on any beach, it would be one with a stunning volcano in the background. background. We spent the morning walking around the small town and had a nice meal at a local restaurant before heading back to Puerto Varas. The highlight of a visit to Puerto Varas has to be getting up close and personal with Osorno volcano from Vicente Pérez Rosales National Park. We started our day in the national park at the Petroju waterfalls, where there were a bunch of short trails we could walk along. Walking down the river was nice, and we got some lovely views of the clear blue water as it flowed along the valley, but the highlight of visiting these waterfalls was definitely seeing the rapids flowing down in front of Osorno.
The really cool aspect of this national park though is that you can drive up the winding road all the way onto the slopes of Osorno volcano. The views as you drive up are incredible, and there are various lookout points where you can stop and soak in these vistas. Eventually we made it up to the visitor center. This area becomes a small ski resort in the winter, so there are chairlifts you can take further up the volcano if you like, which would get you closer to the base of the glacier. It was a little pricey though, so we opted instead for a short circular hike you can do from the visitor center. Hiking a little volcano again.
Definitely takes us back to our time in Cotopaxi.
It genuinely feels like that, huh?
The views are just as spectacular, maybe even more so. The lake just down here, and then Puerto Varas where we're staying is like right across in the distance, all the way over here. This is the other volcano whose name I can't remember. Begins with a C. Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous, and we have a really beautiful day for it too. The weather's really turned kind to us.
It's a bit too bright, but it's better than being in the clouds.
Exactly.
Completely.
I'll take it. This is Tronador. From Bariloche in Argentina, you can drive a lot of the way up to the glacial lake on this one and then hike a little bit up to the glacier. Pretty cool, you can see it from here. So really, Bariloche is not far from here, just across on the other side of these mountains. Funny to be so close again to where we were so long ago.
Without doubt, our hike across the slopes of the volcano was the highlight of our time in Chile's Lake District. The weather was perfect and the views spectacular, so we spent as long as we could soaking it all in before making the winding drive back down to Puerto Varas.
As we said at the start of this video, you would need way more time than we had to really see everything Chile's Lake District has to offer. Even within the locations we visited, there were things that we missed. It's a stunning region of exceptional natural beauty and somewhere we would very much like to return to in the future. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe if you'd like to see more content from this beautiful part of the world. We also have a travel blog where we try to go into more detail about all the places featured in our videos, so if you'd like any more information on a specific place you've seen, head on over there using the link in the description. And make sure to join us next time as we begin one of the greatest road trips in the world, the Carretera Austral, and discover that Chile is only going to get more and more beautiful from here on out.